You know that feeling when life just throws something completely unexpected your way, and suddenly everything feels, well, heavy, like wading through mud.
Oh, absolutely. And those moments of clarity, those aha moments, they feel kind of few and far between sometimes.
Exactly. And if you're tuning in, you're probably like us, always looking for those little sparks, those insights that help make sense of it all.
That's really what we try to do here, isn't it? Just dig into different perspectives, find those nuggets of understanding that might, shed some light on our own stuff.
And today, we're taking a bit of a different path. We're going to put aside the usual academic papers for a bit.
Mm.
We're diving deep into the world of young adult fiction, specifically Sarah Dessen's novel, The Truth About Forever.
Right. So we've got a bunch of chapter summaries, some really good quotes pulled out. And our mission basically is to see what core insights we can pull out.
Themes we all kind of grapple with, right? Grief,
Mm.
identity, relationships.
Yeah, personal growth. Think of it like a shortcut, maybe a way to get to the heart of the story and see how it might echo, our own experiences with change and finding ourselves.
Okay, let's jump in then.
Mm.
Chapter 1. We meet Macy Queen, and she's dealing with the very recent death of her dad.
Hmm.
And what really jumps out is how she's pouring all this energy into supporting her boyfriend, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
He seems like the perfect boyfriend getting ready for brain camp.
Yeah, it's a stark contrast, isn't it? Him with this clear path, this focus, and Macy's just grappling internally with all this grief, feeling really alone.
It's like Dessen sets up that dynamic straight away, focusing on Jason.
Hmm.
Maybe it's a way for her to avoid her own feelings. Unconsciously, perhaps?
Could be. And even though Jason offers support, in his way, you get this feeling Macy's looking for something deeper.
Definitely. The summaries mention that burden of grief she's carrying,
Yeah.
and also those, like, unspoken rules about how she should be coping.
Right. And then there's that goodbye scene at the airport. Quick kiss, seems supportive.
Yeah. But her inner thoughts, she wants something more. It really hits that feeling of disconnect even when things look okay on the surface.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How grief can just subtly change everything, even close relationships. Macy's world is so fragile, and maybe Jason's more, I don't know, structured way isn't quite meeting her emotional needs right then.
Yeah. What is real support when someone's going through that?
Exactly. And then this really touching detail arrives, a package from Easy Products.
Right. Her dad's favorite company. He loved their quirky purchases, apparently. Had this real enthusiasm for life.
And that package becomes this tangible link to him right in the middle of her grief.
It's those little things, isn't it? The everyday connections that suddenly feel so heavy when someone's gone.
Absolutely. Those quirky things, his enthusiasm, it paints such a picture of him and what she's lost. It's not just the big absence, it's all those little unique joys, too.
Yeah. So chapter 1 really lays the groundwork. The weight of grief, Macy trying to figure out who she is now, and this, like, deep need for real connection.
Precisely. And that flows right into chapter 2. Macy's stepping into this new reality, heavily shaped by her family.
The real estate business. And there's pressure, isn't there? Especially from her mom to be perfect. They're prepping for this cocktail party for a new townhouse project.
You can almost feel it coming off the page, that pressure. Macy's so aware of how she looks, how she acts, trying to project calm while inside it's just chaos.
And that shared grief with her mother is just hanging there, unspoken.
It really highlights how differently people in the same family can handle loss, doesn't it? Her mom seems to be thriving in a way in this social sales world, but Macy's just burdened.
It makes you think how often that happens. Families experiencing the same loss, but in such different ways it actually creates more distance.
Totally. And then there's this interaction with Bert from the catering staff.
Oh yeah, the summary says it's kind of humorous but also revealing. Causes a bit of a stir, apparently.
Yeah, and it jolts Macy, reminds her of her life before her dad died.
Those little moments can be huge, can't they? Bert just pops that perfect facade she's trying to keep up.
Exactly, like a little crack appears. And it brings her internal conflict right to the surface. She's questioning things with Jason.
And wondering who she even is now, beyond being her father's daughter.
Which is such a common thing, right?
Yeah.
Losing a parent often forces that kind of fundamental reevaluation. Who am I now?
Mm-hmm. Have you ever had a big life change just completely shift your sense of self like that?
Oh, definitely. And Macy's right in that in-between space. Then she overhears Bert mentioning her dad was a coach.
And it sparks something, right? Reawakens memories.
Exactly. That casual comment is like a catalyst. Connects her back to a part of her past she might have been pushing down, reminds her there was richness before the grief.
So chapter 2 builds on loss, identity, family expectations, and this real struggle for self-acceptance.
And it's interesting they mention the research on parental expectations and anxiety. It grounds Macy's feelings in, real-world psychology. It's not just her story. It reflects challenges lots of young people face. But of course, everyone's grief journey is different.
Okay, chapter 3. Macy starts this library job, but she's restless, nervous.
Yeah, and it connects to her fear of sleeping, these bad memories that keep popping up.
It's like her internal state is manifesting physically, isn't it?
Mm.
The restlessness, the anxiety, trauma, messing with basic things like sleep. Those memories are clearly tied to her dad's death.
Have you ever noticed how stress just totally tanks your sleep?
Oh, yeah. And then there's the running symbolism. It used to be their thing, her and her dad.
A real joy, a connection. But now, after some kind of tragic event related to running, it's just pain.
She quit. Feels like there's this time I would never beat.
It's such a powerful metaphor for how grief can just poison things you loved. It shows how all-encompassing grief can be. Makes you wonder how you reclaim those things.
And her coworkers, Bethany and Amanda, hostile. Really?
Yeah, just adding to her isolation. Right when she needs connection, she gets judgment.
Ugh. It really shows how important a supportive environment is when you're vulnerable.
Totally. And then Jason sends that email, taking a break, emotionally detached.
And Macy's response?
Hmm.
Silence. Which says everything, doesn't it? Pain, insecurity.
That silence is so heavy. It probably just confirms all her fears about their connection being fragile, that she can't even respond right away. It's just processing another loss.
But then, amidst all this gloom, she sees the wish fan.
Right, and it sparks this tiny flicker of hope.
Even in the dark times, we look for those little glimmers, don't we? Something to hold on to. Have you ever noticed a small thing like that, just reigniting hope when things felt bleak?
Absolutely. So chapter 3 leaves Macy deep in grief, isolated, searching for who she is, struggling for connection.
Yeah, she's really adrift. The old anchors are gone.
Which leads us to chapter 4. Macy actually takes a step outside her comfort zone. She confronts this catering job at the McKimmon house.
But she hesitates, right? Almost turns back. And then overhears some disastrous date story in the van. Not helpful.
Huh. No, probably not. But it's so relatable, isn't it? That fear before trying something new, especially when you're already feeling shaky. Have you ever almost backed out of something just because of anxiety?
Oh, for sure. But then she meets Christy from Wishcater.
And Christy shares her own story, encourages Macy.
Christy sounds like a breath of fresh air. She represents change, growth. Sharing her story connects with Macy, plants that seed of maybe she can change too.
Yeah, the power of shared experience. And the summary highlights Macy just standing outside, breathing in the possibility of change. That's a powerful image.
That moment on the edge of something new. It's scary, but exciting too, right? That's where growth happens.
Definitely. Staying safe limits things. And Macy starts reflecting on missed opportunities because she's been so cautious, so isolated.
She thinks about the break with Jason and actually feels a spark of excitement about these new experiences.
It's a big shift. She's seeing the limits she put on herself, seeing potential for something different, something joyful maybe. The break with Jason feels less like an ending, more like an opening.
But even with that spark, when Christy invites her to hang out, she says no, opts for the safe choice again.
Well, change isn't instant, is it? It's realistic. Intellectually, she knows she needs something different, but emotionally, letting go of old patterns is hard. Small steps.
Makes sense. And the chapter ends with the fading lights of the Burtmobile, symbolizing that struggle, comfort versus adventure.
Exactly. That visual sums it up perfectly. The Burtmobile, that spontaneous life, she's still on the edge, watching it fade, not quite ready to jump in.
Okay, chapter 5. Macy's still processing Jason's cold email. Still silent about it.
Yeah, silence seems to be her go-to right now. Maybe she's just emotionally drained or realizing engaging with him like that is pointless. Conserving energy.
Her routine library chores is described as stifling, a real void of spontaneity. Life feels small.
That lack of spontaneity often happens with grief, right? Trying to create order when everything feels chaotic. But it can trap you, like it's doing to Macy. Have you ever felt like a rigid routine was actually making you feel more stuck?
Yes, definitely. Then Delia from Wish calls, needs help urgently, and Macy, surprisingly, says yes.
Driven by that need to break free.
It's impulsive.
Yeah.
A turning point. Rebelling against the monotony, embracing the unexpected, even if she doesn't know what she's getting into.
Yeah, just a gut reaction. And on her way, she gets lost and literally gets stuck in a deep hole in the road.
Oh, well. The summary calls that a metaphor for her own situation.
It really is, isn't it? Stuck, trapped in grief in her own limits. The physical hole mirrors that emotional paralysis. Ever felt like that? Where a physical block felt like it represented something deeper.
Totally. But it's in the hole that she connects with Wes and Delia. And Delia has this insight about not fixing everything.
Yeah, about working around imperfections instead. Using the hole as an example.
That's powerful. Not everything needs a perfect fix. Sometimes you just adapt, move forward despite the imperfections. That's such a contrast to Macy's need for control.
Yeah.
Makes you think, how often do we try to fix things when maybe just being flexible is better?
Exactly. So chapter 5 gives us that contrast. Fixing versus working around. Embracing imperfection. Finding hope by stepping out.
Yeah, learning to navigate challenges with a different perspective, not just eliminating them.
Right. Which brings us to chapter 6. Macy's at the Lakeview Inn with Wes. There's a playful gotcha moment. In a coat closet with Bert.
Sounds fun. Lighthearted. Shows that connection with Wes is budding, getting easier.
Those small, spontaneous moments are so important, especially for someone who's been so isolated like Macy. It signals a shift towards playfulness, comfort.
But then, classic wish catering. Drama.
Yeah.
Missing hams for a retirement dinner.
Huh. Yes. Frantic teamwork in the kitchen ensues.
It showcases the witch crew dynamic, right?
Right.
Stress, but also humor, camaraderie. Ever found shared laughter just diffuses a tense situation?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And Macy, in the middle of this ham chaos, realizes she's actually enjoying it. The chaos.
Whoa. Big shift from wanting order.
Huge turning point. She's finding joy, belonging, in the exact opposite of her old controlled life. Maybe starting to accept life's unpredictability, even appreciate it.
And Wes comments on her potential,
Hmm.
contrasted with Jason.
Yeah, it hints that Wes sees something in her, maybe understands her differently. It's validating for her, shows the power of seeing yourself through someone else's positive view.
So, chapter 6. Spontaneity, connection in unexpected places, finding joy in chaos.
Yep. Letting go of that need for rigid control and just being present, whatever the moment holds.
Okay, chapter 7. We get Macy's makeover experience with Christy in her double-wide trailer.
Mm-hmm. Macy's reluctant at first, but the atmosphere sounds lively.
That contrast again, right?
Mm-hmm.
Macy's cautious world versus Christy and Monica's vibrant energy. It's stepping into something intimidating, maybe, but ultimately freeing.
And Christy shares something really vulnerable about a car accident, scars.
Yeah, emphasizes self-acceptance,
Yep.
inside and out.
That's a powerful bonding moment. Christy sharing her trauma, her resilience. It's a real lesson for Macy in accepting yourself, flaws and all. Finding strength and vulnerability. Makes you think how sharing our own imperfections builds deeper connections.
And Macy starts seeing beauty in the chaos, moving away from perfectionism.
Exactly. It's like she's shedding that old skin. The makeover isn't just about looks, it's symbolic. Embracing a more authentic self. Realizing beauty isn't flawlessness.
They go to a party in the woods,
Um,
and, oh, this sounds awkward, Rachel, an old acquaintance, brings up Macy's trauma about her dad, unwittingly.
yeah. Being exposed like that, grief brought up publicly, must have been incredibly painful. Shows how hard social stuff is when you're carrying that weight, and how clueless people can be.
But Christy defends her, steps in.
Yeah. Which must have felt amazing for Macy. Validation, support, shows their bond, how important it is to have people who get it, who stand up for you when you feel too raw.
Macy reflects on Jason, that one-sided feel, and Christy gives her direct advice. Avoid people who don't appreciate you.
Sounds like a real wake-up call for Macy about her own worth.
Crucial lesson, right?
Yeah.
For anyone. Know your value. Don't settle for relationships that diminish you. Setting boundaries.
Totally. And then there's that budding chemistry with Wes. Shared understanding about loss, even running. Feels genuine, deeper than just attraction.
Yeah, built on empathy, shared vulnerability. Maybe a similar outlook.
So chapter 7 is packed. Self-identity, acceptance, the vital role of supportive people on that journey of self-discovery.
Macy's learning to define herself on her own terms, choosing her own narrative.
Okay, chapter 8. Macy's sister, Caroline, is back. And she's all about renovating the family beach house.
Which brings up bittersweet memories of their dad, right? For Macy and her mom.
Definitely. The house holds a lot of emotional weight. But Caroline's practical approach contrasts with Macy and her mom's more emotional response. Shows those different coping styles again.
Caroline's pragmatic, reassuring their mom, focusing on the job, while Macy and her mom are caught in the feelings.
Yeah, Caroline's pragmatism might be her way of coping. Focusing on the tangible, offering solutions. Maybe helping her mom handle the emotional stuff more manageably. Interesting how different personalities tackle these things.
Then they bump into Wes at a farmer's market. Macy feels awkward about how she looks.
But Caroline kind of pushes her to go talk to him.
Yeah, nudges her out of her self-consciousness. Maybe Caroline sees Wes as a positive influence, subtly encouraging it. Ever had a friend do that? Nudge you towards something good.
Oh, yeah. And Wes is selling sculptures made of recycled stuff.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
And their connection deepens as they talk. Shared appreciation for creativity, seeing beauty in unexpected places maybe.
His art, from recycled things, could symbolize finding new purpose in the discarded, like Macy rebuilding her life. Their conversation suggests a real connection, shared interests, maybe philosophy.
And Caroline admires his work too. They have an intellectual exchange.
Yeah, adds another layer. Mutual respect, appreciating each other's minds. Good foundation for deeper relationships, platonic or romantic.
So, Chapter 8. Navigating nostalgia, shifting family dynamics and grief, unexpected connections, embracing creativity as healing.
Exactly. Acknowledging the past, but staying open to the present. The beach house, once just memories, is starting to feel like a place for new beginnings.
Okay, Chapter 9. We're at a chaotic cocktail party. Macy's working with Wes, shelling shrimp, not glamorous.
No, but then she runs into Jason's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Talbot.
Oh, and Mr. Talbot says something awful about Jason putting the relationship on hold for his ambitions. That must have stung.
Incredibly undermining for Macy, especially with her insecurities, reinforces that feeling of being less than. A temporary thing in Jason's life. Hits her self-worth hard.
But Christy sees it and confronts him.
Yep, ever the supportive friend, her protective reaction, confronting him directly, powerful moment of friendship.
Shows Christy's fierce loyalty. Validates Macy's worth. Stands up for her when she might not be able to. So important to have people in your corner.
Absolutely. But the drama continues. The catering van runs out of gas. Middle of nowhere.
Leaving Macy and Wes to walk for help.
Yeah.
Talk about unexpected bonding. Forged in crisis.
Right. Stranded together, away from the party noise, creates this unique opportunity for deeper connection, relying on each other.
And during the walk, they have a really deep conversation. Personal histories, vulnerabilities. Macy opens up about her dad's death.
That's huge for Macy. She's been holding so much in. Sharing that with Wes shows growing trust, intimacy. It's often through sharing vulnerabilities that connections really deepen.
They even play a lighthearted game amidst the serious talk.
Yeah, balances the heaviness, deepens the connection more. That mix of lightness and vulnerability. Often a sign of genuine connection, isn't it? The game allows shared laughter. The conversation allows deeper understanding.
So Chapter 9 explores social anxiety, true friendship as protection, personal growth through unexpected shared stuff, and how vital communication is.
Definitely. Macy's learning who her real allies are, taking steps towards opening up, making more authentic connections.
Chapter 10 brings the focus back to Macy's mom and the stress of the Wildflower Ridge project. Sounds like it's totally consuming their lives.
Yeah, the mom's intense focus. It might mirror Macy's earlier need for control, maybe her way of avoiding her own grief, throwing herself into work, creates a tense home life.
But there's a glimmer of hope, a planned family vacation, idea of new beginnings.
A potential chance to step back, reconnect away from the daily stress.
And Macy and Wes's relationship keeps developing, provides comfort, allows her to just be herself.
Which is such a contrast to Jason, right? Where she felt she had to maintain an image. Wes's acceptance lets her drop the facade. Crucial for her healing.
But she still feels that pressure to be perfect, that old habit. And she's starting to see how negative it is.
Yeah, that ingrained perfectionism. It's a hard cycle to break, especially after loss. But she's recognizing the toll it takes, how it limits her ability to connect. Ever found yourself stuck in that trap?
Oh, absolutely. And Chrissy encourages her again to break free from the mental cage of the library job, participate in life outside work.
Chrissy's that vital push again. Confront her limits, see the possibilities, step out of the comfort zone to discover new things about herself, the world.
And by the end of the chapter, her view of her classmates is shifting. She feels more self-acceptance, doesn't need their approval.
That's a real turning point. Realizing her own validation matters more than others' opinions. Crucial step towards independence, stronger sense of self.
So Chapter 10, pressure of expectations, internal and external, self-acceptance, personal growth, breaking free from those limiting norms.
Exactly. Prioritizing her own well-being, her happiness, over fitting a mold that isn't authentically her anymore.
Chapter 11, Macy's at Christie's, but hesitant about going out with them, meeting new people.
Yeah. Sounds like classic apprehension, right? Still cautious after heartbreak, maybe socially awkward after being isolated. Stepping back into casual social stuff can feel huge when you're vulnerable.
They talk about unrequited love and the obvious attraction between Macy and Wes, even though he's seeing someone else, adds tension.
Totally highlights those complicated teenage relationship dynamics. Attraction, timing, existing commitments. Macy has to navigate her feelings knowing Wes isn't available technically.
Christy wants to set her up with Sherman. Leads to an amusing debate about love, Christy being dramatic.
Huh. Yeah, Chrissy's enthusiasm provides comic relief, but also highlights Macy's more hesitant, maybe realistic view, different perspectives on love and dating.
Macy decides to stay back, wanders into Stella's garden, and finds a sculpture by Wes.
Whoa. Significant discovery. Creates this private, symbolic connection, even though he's not there. Shared artistic sensibility, maybe. Deeper understanding.
And that leads to a heartfelt, playful conversation when Wes finds her. They connect over shared loss.
Culminates in a late-night Waffle House trip where they really open up. Grief, family, resilience. Sounds like a crucial bonding moment, taking their connection way deeper.
That informal Waffle House setting often allows for more vulnerability, doesn't it? Sharing personal, painful stuff builds that understanding, empathy. Those quiet, unguarded moments are where deep connections often happen.
Totally. And the chapter still touches on Macy and her mom coping differently with grief. That distance is still there.
Yeah, the differing approaches maintain that gap. Mom focused on outward appearance, Macy more willing now to embrace difficult emotions.
And it ends with Macy getting a mysterious gift from her late father via a note from Caroline. Adds more emotional complexity.
Yeah, poignant reminder of his presence, the ongoing grief journey, even as she forms new bonds.
So, chapter 11. Complexities of friendship, confusing romantic feelings, shared loss as a connector, Macy's evolving journey of self-discovery.
Exactly. Navigating adolescence, grief, budding romance, learning about connection and herself.
Chapter 12. Things get more intimate with a game of truth between Macy and Wes while washing the catering van.
Sounds like a deliberate attempt to get past the surface stuff.
Yeah, the game creates that structured but vulnerable space to share fears, experiences they might not otherwise reveal, intentionally fostering intimacy.
Wes reveals a fear of clowns. Macy finds it funny, but pushes for a deeper fear, exploring vulnerability.
Her gentle probing shows she wants to really understand him beyond quirks. What makes him tick, what shaped him, that genuine curiosity is key to developing intimacy.
Then they share really personal stories. Macy's traumatic childhood experience, Wes feeling responsible for his brother Bert, letting their guards down.
Sharing those vulnerabilities builds that powerful bond of empathy, trust, revealing painful experiences. That's how relationships often deepen significantly.
Macy's still grappling with her own feelings, fears,
Yeah.
especially about her mother, still a source of tension.
Yeah, her struggle with her mom highlights how complex family relationships are, especially after loss. Macy's caught between her own needs and her mom's expectations, maybe protective instincts.
There's a party scene. Macy feels pressured, unwanted advances. Wes steps in.
Yeah, offers support, maybe protection. A significant moment of connection, reassurance for Macy.
Wes intervening like that likely deepens her feelings for him.
Right.
Shows he cares, he's protective, willing to stand by her, creates closeness in a moment of need.
Definitely. And the game of questions they played earlier, it becomes a metaphor for their desire to truly understand each other.
Yeah, like the questions are a tool to explore, navigate their feelings, the relationship, peeling back layers, seeking genuine understanding beyond assumptions.
So chapter 12, power, vulnerability, honesty, and communication, the intricate dance of navigating relationships as they explore their feelings, insecurities.
Exactly. Learning true connection needs openness, honesty, even when it's hard. Understanding vulnerabilities is key to building that strong bond.
Okay, chapter 13. Caroline's throwing herself into the beach house project. Seems like the family trying to move forward, create something new in that memory-filled place.
Caroline's enthusiasm gives that forward momentum, a tangible focus. Contrasts with the grief Macy and her mom are still processing more passively maybe, actively engaging with the space.
But the tension between Macy and her mom is still there, especially around Macy's independence, mom's expectations. Macy wants friends over.
Yeah, sounds like their communication gap is still huge. Differing views on independence, mom judging her friends,
Yeah.
generational clash, mom's anxieties about Macy making choices she dislikes, typical parent-teen transition struggles.
And then Jason shows up unexpectedly, adds a whole layer of complexity.
Puts pressure on Macy's evolving relationships, forces her to confront the past directly.
Right. Jason's reappearance is a catalyst, makes her compare past and present feelings, the new connections she's made, creates potential conflict, decisions.
The chapter uses a mega tsunami metaphor for all the unforeseen changes hitting Macy.
Yeah, powerful image, right? Sudden, overwhelming changes, disrupting life, forcing adaptation, reevaluation, feeling swept away by things beyond your control.
And we see contrasting reactions.
Yeah.
Macy's friends are supportive, accepting. Her mom's critical of her home, social life, highlights their different values.
Exactly. Underscores the different worlds Macy's navigating, the challenge of reconciling them. Friends validate her. Mom's disapproval creates internal conflict.
There's a moment discussing Christie's scars. Macy's totally accepting. Shows her growth, looking beyond the superficial.
Her acceptance signifies her growing empathy. Understanding true worth is beneath the surface. Reflects her own journey towards self-acceptance, valuing inner qualities.
But then Mom interrupts their gathering, reveals her discomfort, judgment about Macy's friends, creates tension.
Yeah, highlights the mother's resistance to accepting Macy's evolving life, her desire to maintain control or image. Leads to more friction, hurt feelings.
And it ends with Jason's impending visit, causing anxiety for Macy. Leaves us wondering what his return means.
Creates unease, anticipation. Suggests Macy will have to make some tough choices about her past and future, especially romantically.
Chapter 14. Macy wakes up restless, still having nightmares about her dad. The loss is still impacting her subconsciously.
Yeah, the nightmare suggests unresolved grief, more processing needed, even with the progress she's made. Shows the long-lasting effects of major loss.
Tension at home continues. Mom voices concerns about Macy's friends, focusing on Wes, shows her disapproval, maybe feeling threatened.
Her specific concerns about Wes probably stem from seeing him as representing a departure from the life she planned for Macy, a challenge to her authority. Power dynamics.
But Macy actually stands up to her mom. Better choices, that's new.
Pivotal moment. Macy finding her voice, asserting independence. Pushing back against Mom's control is a huge step towards self-reliance, making her own decisions.
Even when they talk about her dreams in the car, there's still no real connection, like they're on different wavelengths.
That lack of meaningful communication highlights the ongoing emotional distance. Mom not truly listening or validating Macy's inner experience reinforces the breakdown.
And at the library, the coworkers are still fixated on Jason's return, oblivious to Macy's turmoil.
Their narrow focus and insensitivity just underscore Macy feeling unseen, unheard. Their preoccupation with Jason isolates her more.
But then Wes shows up unexpectedly, and his presence brings comfort, support, a stark contrast.
Yes, a breath of fresh air, tangible reminder of the supportive, accepting relationship she's building outside those old constraints. Offers solace, understanding missing elsewhere.
And then she does it. Has a moment of clarity, impulsively leaves the library early to help Wes. Jumps over the counter.
Whoa, that's bold, symbolic.
Right. Literally jumping over the counter is such a powerful visual, breaking free from expectations, confines, physical manifestation of her new assertiveness, choosing her own happiness.
So chapter 14, asserting independence, finding her voice, and the comfort of supportive friendships.
Exactly. Actively choosing her path, prioritizing relationships that nurture her growth over old expectations.
Chapter 15, a really significant turning point. Macy quits her library job.
Powerful symbol, right? Breaking free from those constraints, expectations.
Definitely. It's a tangible act of rebellion against the monotony, negativity. Signifies her commitment to creating a life that feels more authentic, seeking meaningful experiences.
There's a sweet moment with little Lucy coloring. Represents innocence, creativity. Macy's maybe rediscovering.
Provides that gentle contrast to Macy's complex emotions. Reminds her of that uninhibited self-expression she's been suppressing.
Macy then has a really important talk with Delia about the pressure from her mom that need to be perfect.
Opening up to Delia lets her articulate those ingrained pressures, get an outside perspective. Crucial step in externalizing, processing those feelings.
And Delia gives valuable advice. Communicate with her mom about their shared grief, the unspoken barrier.
Delia sees the unresolved grief is likely the core issue in their strained relationship. Encourages Macy to take that difficult but necessary step. Break the silence to allow healing.
Surprisingly, the wish catering party is going smoothly.
Yeah.
A change from the usual chaos.
Could symbolize temporary calm before the storm. Or maybe Macy's more grounded presence is having an effect.
But like's rarely predictable. Delia goes into labor unexpectedly.
Bam! Stark reminder of life's unpredictability. Shifts dramatically without warning, interrupting plans.
And amidst that excitement, Macy has an internal shift. She realizes she's truly over Jason. Emotional liberation.
Huge step forward in her healing, moving on from that past attachment. The dramatic backdrop of new life probably helps put the old relationship in perspective.
So chapter 15, breaking free, importance of communication and grief, life's unpredictability.
Exactly. Macy taking decisive action, gaining clear understanding of her emotional landscape, her capacity to move forward.
Chapter 16 throws us right into the chaos. Delia in labor at the party, the rush to the hospital with Macy and Wes. Intense.
Yeah, sudden shift from party to agency. High stakes. Forces Macy and Wes to rely on each other in a new, intimate way.
Macy reflects on the contrast. Her father's death versus Delia bringing new life must be profoundly emotional. Cyclical nature of life.
Witnessing childbirth likely brings up complex emotions. Joy, anticipation of new life juxtaposed with the sadness, finality of her loss. Stark reminder.
The recurring motif of hands connection. Loss comes up again, takes on new meaning with birth.
Symbolism of hand support, absence of touch and grief probably gains new significance, emphasizing physical connection, support, and bringing life.
Macy feels guilty about missing the family picnic. Gets home, tension with mom escalates again. More restrictions, still unresolved.
The mother's reaction highlights her continued disapproval. Attempts to control Macy, even amidst other drama, underscores the deep communication issues.
But Wes is there, providing calm support, an anchor for Macy.
Yeah, his consistent presence, support, or vital stability for Macy offers understanding, acceptance she's not getting from family.
The chapter culminates with baby Avery's birth. Macy feels mixed emotions, yearning for those strong family bonds that feel strained in her own life.
Avery's birth, while joyous, probably highlights Macy's longing for closer connection with her own family, especially her mom. Bittersweet, witnessing new beginnings when your own family feels fractured.
So, chapter 16. Complex family bonds, emotional honesty, navigating grief, and new beginnings intertwined.
Exactly. Macy experiencing the full spectrum, navigating loss and new life. Her yearning for stronger family bonds comes into sharp focus.
Chapter 17. Macy's back in a monotonous routine, emphasizes her isolation, longing for a connection again.
Yeah, the return to routine highlights the vibrancy she had with Wish Crew. The lack of fulfillment now underscores her yearning.
Even dinners with her mom are bland, underscoring the tension, lack of connection.
The strained interactions amplify her isolation within her own family. That emotional distance is still there.
Macy reflects on how different life felt just weeks ago. Friends, excitement, versus this stagnant state now. Stark reminder of change.
The contrast highlights the impact of her choices, changing relationship dynamics on her well-being.
She misses Christy and Wes. A phone call with Wes is welcome, but also reminds her of growing distance. Bittersweet.
The call is comfort, but also a poignant reminder. The distance hints at the transient nature of some relationships, people moving on different paths.
Then Jason emails again, expressing regret, wanting to reconnect. Complicates things further.
Jason's reemergence creates a dilemma. Reconsider past feelings versus recent experiences, potential new relationships, adds another layer to her internal conflict.
Impulsively, Macy breaks curfew to visit Wes, only to find him with another girl, Becky. Ouch. Shocking, disheartening.
Yeah, seeing Wes with Becky is harsh. Painful awakening. Shatters lingering romantic hopes, forces her to confront reality. He's moving on.
The chapter ends with shock, realization. Their connection might have been temporary, both moving forward, separately. Bittersweet lesson in transient relationships, growth.
Exactly. Relationships evolve, sometimes end, even when it hurts. Learning about impermanence, focusing on her own journey.
Chapter 18. Macy shifts focus from her West turmoil to her mom's escalating anxiety about the gala. Mom's unraveling.
Macy's shift suggests growing maturity, concern for her mom, even while dealing with her own stuff. Developing empathy.
She sees her mom's fatigue, short temper, isolation, pursuing perfection for the gala, pressure taking its toll.
Mom's behavior indicates potential breakdown under self-imposed pressure. Perfectionism might be avoiding her own grief, pain.
Macy tries to bring her lunch, offer care, but sees mom's neglecting self-care. Worrying sign.
Starkly highlights the unhealthy dynamic. Mom focused on external success, appearances at expense of well-being, connection with Macy. Concerning.
Macy's still navigating her feelings about Wes moving on, her tentative emails with Jason. carrying a lot.
Caught in conflicting emotions, Wes, Jason, and witnessing mom's distress, juggling multiple emotional burdens.
Then Caroline confronts their mom directly about workaholism, avoiding grief, hurting Macy. Brave intervention.
Crucial moment of truth-telling. Caroline bravely addressing unspoken issues. Grief. Unhealthy patterns impacting both daughters. Necessary step towards healing.
Caroline pleads for a break, reconnecting as a family, especially at the beach house. But mom's defensive. Impasse.
Mom's defensiveness underscores her resistance to confronting pain, prioritizing work control over daughter's emotional needs, highlights barriers to open communication.
Chapter ends with mom frantically seeking last-minute catering. Clear signal she's unraveling. Things might collapse.
Desperate search signifies loss of control, emphasizes escalating stress, potential for the gala facade to crumble.
So Chapter 18. Intricate family dynamics under stress.
Yeah.
Impact of unresolved grief, subtle neglect, the struggle to process loss.
Exactly. Paints a vivid picture of a family on the brink, each grappling with pain, coping mechanisms, often isolating them further.
Chapter 19. Continued strained silence between Macy and Caroline. Macy's worried. Mom's still obsessed with the gala. Misaligned priorities.
Silence between sisters, mom's obsession, underscores breakdown in family communication, mom denying underlying emotional issues.
Gala approaches. Chaos erupts. Landscapers ruin yard. Quartet cancels. Caroline arrives with Wes's art. Everything going wrong.
Escalating mishaps create palpable external chaos, mirroring mom's internal turmoil, lack of control despite her efforts.
Mom tries desperately to regain control, but sounds like it's spiraling.
Her frantic attempts highlight her deep need for control, inability to adapt, growing desperation.
Caroline confronts mom about Wes's art. Its significance to Macy. Shows solidarity between sisters.
Caroline defending the art shows unwavering support for Macy's emotions, recognizes Wes's importance. Subtle challenge to mom's dismissiveness.
Amidst the chaos, Macy grapples with feelings for Wes. Reaches clarity about what she wants. External turmoil forces inward look.
External chaos acts as catalyst, forces Macy to tune out distractions, confront genuine emotions, desires. Intensity clarifies her internal landscape.
Chapter ends with a powerful storm rolling in. Mirrors Macy's internal tumult, leaves her at a crossroads.
Approaching storm is dramatic backdrop to her emotional awakening. Symbolizes upheaval, potential for destruction and renewal, emphasizes the pivotal moment.
So Chapter 19. Familial obligations versus personal emotions, chaos versus control, unexpected events bringing clarity.
Exactly. External disruptions push Macy towards internal transformation, confronting true feelings.
Chapter 20. Macy finds mom and Caroline overwhelmed by party prep. Contrast to Macy's surprising calm, stress caught up to them.
Macy's composure suggests a shift. Maybe she found inner peace, clarity her mom and sister lack.
Mom breaks a soap dish. Her composure crumbles, sheds tears, rare vulnerability.
Allows Macy to see her mom not just as controlling, but stressed, hurting, maybe lost. Humanizes her.
Macy realizes how much mom struggled, feels genuine concern shift in their dynamic.
Recognition of fragility fosters empathy, concern in Macy. Potential pathway for reconciliation, compassionate understanding.
Macy approaches her mom in the office. They embrace, breaking that emotional barrier, healing significant connection.
That embrace is a major breakthrough. Much needed shared vulnerability, genuine connection absent for too long. Turning point in communication, support.
Christy arrives unexpectedly with Wes's art. Comment about true love happening unexpectedly. Gentle nudge for Macy.
Christy's arrival, comment. Subtle but significant encouragement for Macy to consider feelings for Wes, remain open to unexpected romance.
Delia and Pete show up to help. Amidst new parenthood, underscores community, supportive friendships.
Arrival of friends reinforces theme of connection, supportive community rallying in difficult times.
Rain eases, guests arrive. Highlights importance of human connections, shared experiences, despite turmoil.
Despite chaos, focus shifts back to fundamental importance of relationships, shared moments bringing people together.
Chapter ends with Macy reflecting on feelings for Wes. Palpable hope for new beginnings, family, romance. Feels like she's on the verge.
Exactly. Allowing herself to acknowledge true feelings, embrace possibility of brighter future, personally and within family.
So, Chapter 20. Embracing vulnerability, deepening relationships, support during challenges, hope for new beginnings.
Precisely. Centered on healing, reconnection, promising possibilities after navigating emotional challenges.
Chapter 21. Macy's at her mom's successful party. Sees mom actually enjoying herself. not consumed by stress control. Positive change.
Suggests significant positive shift in Mom's emotional state, too. Likely result of reconnecting with Macy, relaxing.
Then she encounters Jason. Predictably suggests lists for relationship expectations. Very Jason. Structured, maybe out of touch with Macy's growth.
His suggestion perfectly highlights his continued structured, maybe rigid approach. Stark contrast to Macy's more spontaneous, emotionally driven nature developed over summer.
Macy feels disconnected from this analytical approach. Realizes it no longer aligns with her views, what she wants.
Underscores Macy's significant personal growth, evolving understanding of her emotional needs, relationship values. She's outgrown that dynamic.
Caroline adds to the chaotic atmosphere. Grand art commentary. Embracing imperfect reality.
Caroline's dramatic flair adds humor, reinforces theme of embracing the unexpected, finding joy in imperfect reality, not unattainable ideals.
But Macy's attention is drawn to Wes. Powerful realization.
Yeah.
Needs to break free from rigid expectations, hesitations, especially romantically.
Seeing Wes is the final catalyst. Fully let go of inhibitions, courageously pursue what her heart wants, break free from past self-imposed limits.
At the pivotal moment, she runs after Wes, acknowledges her feelings. They kiss. Huge, decisive step. Embracing vulnerability, taking a chance.
That kiss powerfully symbolizes her complete transformation. Willingness to risk, embrace authentic feelings, step boldly outside past boundaries. Declaration of freedom, self-awareness.
So chapter 21. Celebrating personal growth, courage to break free, beautifully unpredictable nature of life, relationships blossoming unexpectedly.
Exactly. Actively choosing her path, embracing messy, wonderful reality of her emotions, taking leap of faith into a future feeling authentically hers.
And we reach the final chapter, 22, The Truth About Forever. Macy wakes up. Wes cheerfully insists she join him outside. At the beach house. Perfect, peaceful start.
The beach house, once holding sadness, now evolving into space of healing, shared joy, new beginnings for Macy and family.
They reflect on beach house memories, her dad, but with peace, acceptance now, not just sharp grief.
Memories no longer solely tinged with sadness, integrated into richer tapestry of life, interwoven with new joys, connections, presence of loved ones.
Caroline suggests building a chimenea, small but symbolic step, creating new traditions, memories in that space tied to the past.
Chimenea beautifully represents family's conscious effort to create new rituals, find comfort, connection, and shared space, layering new positive experiences onto cherished memories.
Bond between Macy and Caroline stronger, more supportive, healing power of sibling relationships, navigating shared loss.
Evolving relationship signifies significant healing within family unit. Underscores vital role of sibling support in difficult times, strengthening bonds.
Beach house transforming into genuine place of healing for Macy and her mom. Mom stepping back from work, enjoying family time. Real turning point.
Beach house beautifully transformed from place of lingering grief to true sanctuary for healing, reconnection, shared joy for the whole family.
Macy rediscovers running, but without the pressure of performance. Reclaimed a part of herself, overshadowed by loss.
Reclaiming passion for running, free from burden of unattainable expectations, signifies significant aspect of her overall emotional healing, finding joy in activity once associated with pain.
Story culminates in beautiful moment of connection between Macy and Wes on the beach. Solidifies relationship, brings her journey full circle, hopeful.
Connection on beach beautifully solidifies the relationship, culmination of her journey to find love, happiness, belonging again after significant loss.
And in that perfect moment, Macy gets it. The truth about forever, not distant, abstract. Happening right there. Present moment, filled with love, connection, beautiful, hopeful resolution.
It's a powerful, resonant message, isn't it? Embrace the present. Recognize the most meaningful forever moments are often the ones we're living right now, surrounded by love, authentic connection.
So wrapping up our deep dive into the truth about forever, we've journeyed through so much, haven't we? Navigating grief, loss,
That intricate path of self-discovery.
the messy, beautiful world of relationships.
And the sheer courage it takes to just embrace the unexpected detours life throws at us.
And for you, listening, someone seeking deeper understanding, those aha moments, whether in times of change or just curiosity.
Yeah, Macy's struggles, her resilience, they probably resonate, right?
Yeah.
Her journey reminds us that even facing loss, uncertainty, the potential for healing, connection, discovering our true selves, it's always there.
So here's a final thought to take with you. Think about a time in your own life when embracing the unexpected, a new job, a chance meeting, maybe even a really tough situation led to real personal growth or a deeper understanding of yourself, your relationships.
What personal truth about forever did that moment reveal for you?
And maybe just consider the power of fiction, like this book, to shine a light on these real-life challenges.
And offer fresh perspectives on how we navigate our own complex, always unfolding stories.